What's good, everybody? What's going on, man? It's Stephen Qualls II, aka Mr. Qualified. It's your boy. And we are back with another episode of the Wright Quality Podcast. We might as well flip things around a little bit and just open up with some W talk. Gail, I know that you were really excited for this. I know you've been waiting for this. You've been asking where's the coverage.
Such misogynist on this podcast is crazy.
Insanity.
I know the last episode I mentioned it and that part got erased. So now it's,
Somehow, some way.
I seem complicit, but come on now.
It's Steve. It's Steve.
See, yeah, it is.
Anti-W Steve.
The right thing.
He asked me what time does the game start tonight, just so we can record through and watch.
That's crazy. And I'm glad that y'all talked over what I said right there. We got to go quick.
I'm not about to do this with y'all. But we will start with the MVP conversation. The MVP was announced on Sunday. Was that Sunday? Saturday, Sunday?
Yeah.
Over the weekend.
Sunday morning.
Yeah, over the weekend. A'ja Wilson winning the MVP again for a fourth time. Is that the league record? I think that's the league record.
That is a record, yes.
Okay. Congratulations to her. A'ja is amazing. We've sang her praises on this podcast, but I feel like as much as we've talked about it, and I feel like this has been the conversation around the W, that maybe there was somebody a little bit more deserving this year. A lot of people felt like it should have went to Napheesa Collier because of the Lynx essentially being a top-ranked team from the onset of the season, and her numbers being right there and comparable with A'ja. So thoughts on the award going to A'ja? Was Fee snubbed? And yeah, just kind of the MVP conversation as a whole as it relates to the W.
I'm so tired of this league robbing Fee of everything she's earned. I am. I'm going to preface my spiel with the fact that I love A'ja Wilson down. Why wouldn't I? Love that it's her fourth one, record breaking, amazing. So, but Fee was a little more deserving, in my opinion. The Lynx were the top seed for basically the entire season.
Oh, yeah.
The Aces struggled. And while they did go on a win streak from August up until that last loss, maybe I think it was last week against the Storm, and A'ja Wilson held her own even through the Aces struggles. But when you talk about consistency, not only as an individual, but on her team, and the only reason that Fee fell off a little bit was due to her injury. But she comes back from an injury and drops 25 plus. Like, come on now. Come on now. Y'all robbed her last year with a phantom foul when she won a ring on New York's floor. And then this year you rob her of an MVP award. I don't know what they're trying to wake up in her, but I really do feel like she's about to take it up another notch because it just keeps happening. Like, goodness gracious. Fee was really deserving, but like I said, I am happy for A'ja.
I had a full hate speech due to all this, not hate speech in the, oh my goodness, we're in a time, we're in an era. I have to be careful saying that. Nothing bad about this administration or any affiliates towards the administration. We want to stay broadcasted. I say this was Fee's year. Last year was Fee's year for a ring. I think they were tired of the Maya Moore era. I believe that they're trying to do everything that they can to not have Minnesota get a ring. It's definitely about the big markets and making sure that the Vegases pop up and get theirs. The New York Liberty gets theirs. The Sparks get one at some point. Minnesota, granted, it was cold the year that they had the championship parade when the Lynx won it, but I think there was a little bit of a winner's fatigue. And also the W wasn't at its level that it is now. But I think hopefully they do not pull what we feel the league has done to the Kings in the NBA and the Bucks of old and other other small markets that have had a chance to make some noise, and then it is stifled due to whatever phantom files you want to see or not see. Last year was egregious. I went through and I had to delete old tweets. I had about like 30 old tweets from that Lynx Liberty finals, and I was just barking on the timeline. I had to cleanse.
Miguel, have you been a Lynx fan because of your ties to Minnesota?
I think by default, and also like Maya Moore was like the coldest.
Yeah.
Like for reasons that like, you know, the shoes in Minnesota too. Like I think that was a team that I definitely followed closely, and also being there for like, yeah, like I was kind of disappointed. I'm like, damn, like I was eating at I forget what the dining hall is in Minnesota, like freshman year. So this is what, 24, 15 maybe.
Somewhere
I
in
think
there. 14
like,
or
right
15. Yeah.
and they had won. I remember the parade. I was like, they deserve better. Like they just got like, I think that was their third ring straight, something like that. Let me not disrespect the program. Let me do some fact checking real quick. Lynx championship.
What are your ties to Minnesota?
College.
Mm-hmm.
Where the game expanded, where I became the guard that I am today, as Qualls and Akers would say, non-passing. It is just an elevated. So 2011, 13, 15, and 17. So this is the 15 ring for sure. But yeah, that's where I was in the lab and just grew and just became, you know.
I forgot y'all are old. No way you were in college in 15.
Big dog. Yeah, ageless.
Freshman, we just got there for the record. Let's be
Man.
clear. We had just got there.
My bad.
Yes.
We weren't elder statesmen in 14, 15 in college. Good Jesus.
Anyways, and it's throughout the. How old are? Wait, we'll discuss it later. Never ask a woman's age. That was my ties to Minnesota Lynx. In 2015, I saw a parade. I hope that this quintuples it with the drive that the W has brought, and I think, you know, we're in a good place for women's ball to be cultivated here. Now there's more eyes. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just geeked for this to pop off in more locations. Milwaukee, bring us a team.
I didn't even know you played college ball.
You know,
he played college rec ball. Let's be clear.
Oh, okay.
He played college rec ball.
Well, yeah, their starting guard walked into the gym, and that was when I noticed the levels to it. He was like my size, maybe a little bit shorter. Got the rebound at the free throw line. He said, "You're too close." I ran with him. He just kept me on his hip, bounced it at the 3-point line. I'm like, what are we doing? Like I say, he's like 5'10", 5'9". Hits glass, catches that, East bays it. I'm like, oh. So that's what I was with. That's where the craft comes through. That's where the IQ is provided. So, but then, like when I saw those levels, it, you know, now when I see those levels, I'm just like, all right, I'm gonna step back.
Right, I'm gonna let him cook. I'm just give him room to do.
And if you need a facilitator, game for game, I put my brain in anyone's body. I'm next to the Rondos, the Bronze, the CPs. That's keep it a buck.
That's a fact. I concur. I second.
They nerfed me at birth. My brother's 6'7" for what? No offense, Alex. You're a marketable trumpet player, but we could have done this in each other's bodies. Pause. Let's go on to the next one. What's next?
Hey.
Playoffs.
No, you're insane. What I will revisit, not that comment, but to the point about the W not like being in a completely new space. Hey, yo.
Wiping my hands.
Oh man.
Good
Come
Jesus.
on now.
Good Jesus. But no, the W is in a very different place than it was back then. And like to your point about the markets, it's interesting seeing that take place in the W because we mainly talk about it in the NBA. But I mean, it is very much like markets are markets. So it is very much a thing in the W. And it's interesting that I saw recently that the W, when it started, like right after the 96 Olympics, when the W was first like formed, it was very popular. And then like somewhere in the early 2000s is where it died off. And it was essentially because the head of programming at ESPN thought the W was whack and thought it sucked. So ESPN.
And the NBA was at a bad place too. Like let's
Yeah, it
be real.
was. At that time, it was.
Mhm.
Yeah. So,
Basketball in general was not very marketable. People were scoring like 40 points a game.
yeah.
I'm talking an individual. Like
Yeah, for sure. So, that's very interesting. And it'll be interesting to see because Asia is still like relatively young. So I wonder if there's been this gap, so to say, in the W for so long that we're just now reaching a place where, and I'm not saying that this MVP was like handed to Asia necessarily. I don't want to disrespect her in that way, but we might just be getting to the place where there's a bit more parity or there's enough parity in the W to where you're going to have to be looking around the league and not just looking at the biggest stars or the bigger markets. Like you're going to have players like Fee and like other players who were in the conversation where they're deserving. You're gonna have to, spread this wealth around, in accolades. But we don't see the wealth spread around in the NBA when it comes to these awards as well. We know what the MVP conversation has been like in the NBA for the past few years, especially like surrounding Jokic. So yeah, it's interesting to see them parallels start to take place, and yeah, should be interesting to follow. But
that MVP race in the next 5 years in the W is going to be a dog race.
oh
my God.
absolutely.
Co-defensive player of the year or whatever they did.
Yeah, I saw that.
What is this? Participation?
I'm not surprised they're treating the W like that as of right now. I don't think they should, and I hope they don't continue to do it. But
they do it in the NBA too. Like do a.
When the last time they done did a
co-award like that?
I
like
mean, if they did, and I'm saying like because this is where that disparity comes from. Because I kind of like the idea. I didn't like which two they gave to, like two bigs. I feel like this sparked an idea for me in the NBA that give a perimeter defensive player of the year award, an interior defensive player of the award, and then a overall. Because then it's like
just do the two. There's no point in having an overall if you're going to separate interior and perimeter. Because I don't disagree with you. I think one guard and one forward center for defensive player of the year, and it just have it be two separate awards.
Yeah, I'm saying I guess like one of those two winners gets the overall. Like not like a third participant comes in and gets whatever, but I think like, then it's like, all right, at least there is some sort of parity in terms of like, all right, they're both in the conversation. Now, which one has played a better role in terms of like
see what you mean. Yeah, because the NFL does offensive player of the year, defensive player of the year, and MVP. I give it
well, I still think that's tough because if we're looking at DPOY, I think there's a reason you already kind of see it lean toward bigs to begin with. Like, that year that Marcus Smart won, you don't often see a guard, winning defensive player of the year.
So I think the best guard that year.
I agree, right? So I think if you separate it, you at least can always guarantee that the guard position won't be forgotten about. But I think separating them and still picking one out of those two still kind of puts us in the same situation of where it stands now with there being one DPOY. Because if your top three candidates are two bigs and a guard, that award tends to favor big. So for me personally, I would just say have your perimeter or have your guard award for it, have your, big award for it, and then just call it a day with there being two awards to honor the positions and just let them be those two. I think that would be easier.
Yeah, because I think where I want the third is that I think like Wemby's going to break the scale. Because I think like you're going to have your typical Rudy Gobert centers where it's just like they're a great interior defender. Where it's like you get them on an island. Granted, he's been better at the last like 1.5 years. He's burnt toast. Like so many clips of him in a circle finding the basketball. You have a great perimeter defender. Those guys have better success when they have to go into the interior, a la Alex Caruso, a la PJ Tucker, a la Lou Dort. Like, so that's where it's like, it's hard to say like, oh yeah, even Drew Holiday, like in the Olympics, like he's in the post, like blocking shots in the paint and like really like making it hard for guys. That's where it's like, that we do need multiple just to specify. I think that third is really just for like the next 15 healthy years we get of Wemby, where it's just like, all right, you got it, bro. Like we're you are averaging like 5 to 10 stocks per game. Just take it, like, because I think that's going to be so hard to really win it. I think for these next few years, if he's healthy, if Rudy Gobert took 4 throughout his entire career, what's it going to look like when it's like we've already had competitions, people have full fast breaks, and he's like 2 steps behind him. They're like, let me reconsider. Like, that's where I think LeBron should have maybe gotten maybe a little bit of the Jordan treatment or Kobe treatment, how they did, where it's just like the master of the chase down. Like, you've completely changed what it's like for people to score fast break points. And like, he didn't sniff one, I don't think.
He got robbed
It's
of
kind
one.
of
Yeah, he got robbed of one, but that was about it.
Yeah. But sorry, a lot of words just to say that yeah, co-MVP, co-DPOY and the W. I'm just like, kind of weird that like they get that treatment and the guys don't, but then I'm just like, let the guys get that treatment too. Like, if there's multiple good defenders in the league, like, that's how we don't get any conversation of some of them like not even sniffing third team, and like they're prominent guys on their team like really locking up. Like, those guys should be the ones that are really getting DPOY, like the Jaden McDaniels of the world, the Alex Caruso's, like and they're nowhere near like an award, which is kind of nuts.
Yeah, I think that just furthermore goes into what even goes into the award. I feel like we ask that question every year. Like, what are you looking at when you're considering DPOY candidates in the award? And I still don't know to this day.
Narrative. It's narrative. It's Marcus Smart got it off of a storyline. And also analytics, where it's just like, yeah, like when Rudy Gobert's in the court, they're plus minus when he's on or off, like on the defensive end, like that's where people get that from too. Where the eye test might not show, yeah, like Rudy Gobert's getting spun in circles, but when he's out there, they're scoring less points. Like that. I think that's what the true metrics are at that point. Because a lot more than just Tony Allen and Marcus Smart should have won it for guards in these last like 15 years.
Word.
So real. Like, there's guys that touch sport that literally can only play defense. Like, they're trying to coach them to shoot. Like Andre Roberson, like Abo Cephalosha. Like, let's be so real. Like, those are the real DPOYs.
Cephalosha, you got in your bag with that one.
He did. Good.
Air Max 90s for his entire career.
No, for real. There's a lot of great perimeter players, like you said, that primarily focus on defense, and not just because they're the last line of defense. Like, there's a lot of first line of defense players that should be in the conversation more. But yeah, hopefully that narrative changes in the W. Maybe with this continued expansion and growth, naturally over time, it'll just start to garner that respect, and the players will start to garner that respect of being able to have these awards be individualized in the same way that they are in other leagues, so that can help their narrative and their status and arguments for whatever, wherever they're going to fall, and however you're going to gauge their all-time list or the greats or whatever the case may be. But yeah, W is heating up.